Alright, you guys. Today I want to cover a breaker structure and how you would play it or use it in confluence with your trading. So this is actually super simple. Of course, you guys know what an uptrend is. You have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and so on, right? Boom. Higher highs and higher lows. So that's an uptrend. And a breaker structure is simply price going lower than previous lows, creating a lower low, lower high, and then continuing to make lower lows, like so. So if I mark my lower lows here, let's see, boom, lower lows. And then up here are my higher highs. So you have your higher highs and your higher lows. And then this would be your breaker structure. So this is why I always mark these lines like this, because that would be your breaker structure. Boom, you call this your BOS, your breaker structure, like so. Right, so that's your breaker structure from an uptrend going into a downtrend. And then obviously a downtrend is just, lower lows and lower highs and so on, right? So in a downtrend, you're going lower lows. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be LH, lower highs. I messed up on that. But yeah, lower lows. And then obviously these are your lower highs. Right? And the same thing on the opposite side. When you're in a downtrend, when you break structure, you just go from creating lower lows and lower highs to higher highs and higher lows, like so, right? Boom. So simple. That would be your breaker structure there. Notice how this level would match up with that level would match up with this, and so on. So boom. Super simple. Just that's what a breaker structure would be. You're lower, going from an uptrend to a downtrend, or downtrend into an uptrend, right? So keep that in mind with what I'm about to show you guys here in just a second. Boom, let me get rid of all this, right? Let me exit bar replay. So if we're looking at Apple, if we're looking at the trade I took today and that I showed you guys yesterday, I'm about to show you guys our actual breaker structure, right? So here we have a 15-minute uptrend. We have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So this is our uptrend. Obviously, it's not perfect. It's never going to be picture perfect how I just showed you guys. That was just an example. But in this case, we break structure, right? So we go from creating higher highs and higher lows till we, break that structure, go all the way down. So that's, just a break structure. Obviously, that was supply, so it didn't stop all day. And then eventually started coming back up. But we ended up coming back up to retest that breaker structure and supply, right? So that's your breaker structure, and then you have supply there as well. How do you mark your supply? Obviously, you guys know if you watch my videos. You get the candle that started the move here from the top of the wick to the bottom of the body close. Set your risk to reward. So if I remove all this, I could do it from scratch for you guys. So we had our low here. This was Friday before, we created this low on Thursday. So I marked that low. We broke below it. I also took this trade on Friday because we ended up breaking structure there. Target previous lows, played 0 DTEs. I banked off those. Boom. Right, and then we created supply because we had our drop base and then our drop. So if we were to mark our supply under our breaker structure, like so, this is where you would take your trade. I mean, look how in confluence that is. You have your breaker structure and supply. When you see a breaker structure and supply or demand, if it's on the upside, take the trade. I'll show you guys an example on Tesla here in a second. So obviously we opened up right under supply, so I decided to take the short there. I gave you guys this yesterday. Super easy. It doesn't get easier than this. So this is going from an uptrend into a downtrend. Now let me show you guys Tesla. So Tesla, obviously we caught as well. Tesla was on a larger time frame. So if I go on, let's do, I think it was the 1 hour. Yep, 1 hour / 15. So we ended up breaking above this level there. So obviously we're in a downtrend, creating, let's see, where's that? Lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, boom. And then obviously we end up breaking back up, go back into an uptrend, then eventually we broke structure there, right? So you guys get it, boom. Then we kind of broke structure there. We broke this previous high, started creating lower highs, higher highs, lower high. Then eventually we broke above and broke structure on the 4 hour, boom. So, break a structure there. If I go into the 15-minute, 30-minute, I had the 15-minute mark for you guys. So look at the volume on that candle there. Look how large that candle is compared to all previous candles. Obviously, there's a lot of volume there. You could also check here. Look how large that volume is. Boom. We didn't have that amount of volume until, I think it was last Friday. Well, boom. So I marked my demand there. And like I said, double confluence. Boom. So I marked my demand. Now, obviously, we just had to wait for price to come down and retest for you to take the long. So break a structure and demand. Boom. So now you target previous highs like so. You could play, if it's 0 DTE, obviously play the bounce on first touch and scale really quickly and don't hold too long. But if you have, say if it's Monday, you have time to hold. Unless it closes below. I don't like swinging in this market. I always close my positions before close. But in this case, we bounced off demand 1, 2, 3 times, and then finally we invalidated that today. So, like I said, break a structure, demand or supply or demand. Take the trade. Super good confluence. Obviously, this is when Elon had news and it gapped up and went crazy. Next day came back down. But yeah, that is break a structure using supply and demand, double confluence. This is just one of the higher or better chance setups, A+ setup. You know what I mean? This is one of the better setups that you can take. It always works. You guys know that I bank off these all the time. Obviously, in this market, it's been a lot more volatile, and that's not because that's not because these setups aren't working. Obviously, I trade on my own. And I'll take other setups on the side, or I might just trade SPX, whatever. It doesn't matter. But with the volatility, it's a lot harder for me to take, other trades like SPY, SPX, and not get chopped out. That's what's been happening the majority of the time. But you have to learn to adapt. So now I'm going to be trading a lot less and making sure that I only trade these breaker structures and supply and demand. So if you see me not alerting or not sending charts, that's because I don't see anything available. But when I see a setup like this in this market, it's been showing time and time again that it still works. So these are the only setups that I'm going to be playing heavy on and taking, right? So that is supply and demand with breaker structure. I really hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, obviously just ask in the premium. I'll be there and I'll show you guys to help you, and then boom. But yeah, it's been Decrypt. You guys take care. I'm out of here.